Hello, everyone. I'm Daniel Gieslin, and I want to take a few minutes to sit down and just chat about the new Microsoft Flight Simulator trailer. There's been people who have done fantastic jobs going frame by frame through this entire thing and saying, "Wow, look at this, look at that," and they're fantastic videos. Go check them out. That's not the intent of this video. This video is mostly I just want to talk about what's exciting, what is concerning, and what we want out of Microsoft Flight Simulator for the future. And for some background, I'm an avid gamer. I stream on Twitch under Aviator Gamer occasionally, not very often. You can find me on Twitter as Indo Bush Pilot. I'm a former bush pilot in Indonesia. I am a former airline pilot for a regional airline, and I'm currently a BizJet pilot. So I work in the aviation industry. I've been working in the aviation industry for 15 years, and this is super exciting. And so I just want to kind of preface my kind of perspective with that. I am not an avid flight simmer, so I'm not going to be the guy who's like, oh yeah, this, about flight simming specifically. But I have a kind of a more of an aviation / gamer perspective, and I want to talk about what we see here that's exciting and what we want to see in the future. So let's start this from the beginning. Before we get going, right here, this is a little bit funny to me. This is a PR thing. It's not exclusive to it's not by any means exclusive to Xbox. It is on PC. Now you could say, well, actually, it is in the Xbox app on PC or whatever. Whatever. It's on PC and it's on Xbox. Apparently, it will be there eventually. This is a jab at PlayStation, so don't get hung up on this. It is on PC and it is going to be, for all intents and purposes, as far as I can tell, a fantastic simulator, not a game experience. So let's play it. And I'm going to just talk a few things through. One thing that you'll notice right off the bat is X-Plane, PD3 or P3D, FSX, the kind of the big names in the flight simming community. Well, they don't look good. They just don't look good when you start the game as a base game. They're actually really outdated graphics. And the way this trailer portrays itself right from the get-go is, guys, we know, ladies and gentlemen, we know you want something beautiful because flying is beautiful. And they're saying, we heard you, we got you. Look at this trailer. It is gorgeous. And they were highlighting that. They'll the frame by frame folks will point out some weird stuff. Yeah, sure, there's issues. But on the whole, this is an absolutely stunning trailer from a flight simmer perspective. Additionally, I think it's also interesting to note that they highlight a wide variety of locations. In previous flight sim situations, they did really high detail on certain areas of the world and not on others. And here they seem to be implying, at least, you can go anywhere in the world and it's going to be gorgeous, just gorgeous. And that is super exciting. As a person who, especially, I love flying low and slow. Hang on. Boop. Let's start it over again. I love playing it low, flying low and slow, and just looking at the world. And it's very interesting to see the beauty of the world that they've created. So anyway, moving on. What we want to see. So one of my issues, and kind of sort of a gateway to me, that I've seen for getting back into flight simming, is the high cost. Like, you buy the game, like Spain 11, for example, $60, boom, and then you go to the Steam store, and it is a ridiculous number of downloads. Sorry, not the Steam store. You go to xplane.org, and you go to their store, and you start scrolling through, and you're looking at what's available, and there's hundreds, thousands maybe of downloads for aircraft and for scenery. And There's links, like there's places all over the web that have like all these plugins for being able to put onto into X-Plane 11 or whatever flight simulator you have, downloadable aircraft, things like that, and that is. That's one of the marks of the flight sim community is the like high quality mods that are out there. So when Microsoft is stepping back into this market, two things that we really want to see from them is let me start this over again. Two things that we really, really, really want to see from them are first of all, modability, the ability, either the tools or the or something so that people can mod their own aircraft and stick them in, because there's just way too many aircraft out there for Microsoft to model and every single one of them and stick it in the game. And I know they're going to have like a decent selection. People have already pointed out there's a really decent selection of aircraft from single engine, fabric wing, fun aircraft to proper airliners with all the systems running. And so, like, there's going to be a lot of there needs to be modability so that people can build aircraft on their own and put them into the simulator. And the second thing we really want to see is what they need to do is they need to do their very, very best to make it a one-stop shopping sort of experience. Now, FSX does that somewhat. They have go onto the FSX Steam store, and it has got thousands of dollars worth of DLC that you can get. Maybe it's only hundreds, but like it's a huge amount of DLC that you can get, maps and aircraft and things like that. That's what we want to see available. But like, start with a very, very solid set of things provided, aircraft and scenery and whatnot provided right off the bat, so that people don't have to mod the simulator out the wazoo before they even can play it, because that's one of the barriers with like X-Plane 11 or the other or FSX or the other ones is in order to make it look decent and have aircraft that you want, you have to put in tons of mods, and you have to like get into like modifying in INI files and just all sorts of stuff in order to make these things work. So make it work beautiful, make it be beautiful, and have a base set of aircraft and like the scenery that needs to all be there to start with. And that's really where they need to start. I think Microsoft knows there's a market there based on their FSX Steam library, and so like they need to provide that support from the get-go. The second thing, and I really probably should have mentioned this first, is physics. You've absolutely got to base the flight models off of real world physics, or the simming community is just going to walk away. They're going to be done. Like if this isn't on physics, if this isn't based on physics, and it looks like it is, but if it isn't, like, your flight sim community is going to abandon you, and it's going to be useless. And then the other thing is and this is one that I kind of hit on, and this may be the Azure AI may really be part of that. Let me pause it right here. This game must be able to play on basically anything. Now, because it's playable on Xbox, apparently, I think that we can hope for it actually being playable on a decent range of computers, but you need to make it so that this game, like, someone can say, hey, dumb the physics down, make it a game. You need to like dumb the graphics down to make it look kind of iffy, and then I need to be able to play this on my laptop on the road that is a pretty much run-of-the-mill junky laptop. Now, maybe you don't need to make it quite that accessible, but this game needs to be hyper accessible. One of the issues that I also have with X-Plane 11 is that it's single-threaded, from what I understand. And like, I have an okay computer, not an amazing computer. I have an okay desktop, and it just chunks along on X-Plane, like 25, 20 frames per second. Now, that's still flyable. Like, I still can manage. But it just bogs down. And part of that is the mods, and part of that is just the way that the architecture of the game engine runs is just so bad. And that's where this right here, Azure AI, and the satellite data really comes into play, because this makes me hopeful that they may rely heavily on an internet connection, but it may be that they are actually offloading some of that, especially the map processing. They're offloading some of that externally, which might make it a online only game, which would stink, but at the same time make it accessible. So I'm kind of torn on that one. Um, but those are kind of the big things. Is you got to make it accessible. Start with absolutely, it must be based on physics. Don't do physics and the simming community is going to walk. Aircraft options have to be available, and like, you need to have a lot of options. You lock them behind DLC. Go for it. Make them 5, 10, 20, 30 bucks a pop. Go to explain.org store, and you'll see like uh, a good modeled aircraft will go for the price of a full game, 50, 60 bucks even. Some of the smaller ones are a little bit less expensive, 30, 25, but a really good model is going to cost you 60 plus, $50 plus. So like, just go ahead and say, all right, we're going to model 200 aircraft for this thing. You're going to get 20. And then the other 180, you have to pay for them. $5, $10, $30 each. That's fine. But whatever you do, absolutely do not put them in loot boxes. Don't do that. Don't even think of that. You do that, and your community is going to walk. So physics, aircraft options, mod support. You got to make it moddable, and monetize it. Like, figure out a way to monetize it, and that's free cash for you. I'm going to start playing this again because I'm boring to just listen to. But I think I'm going to play it again. Hello? There we go. Yeah, mod support. Make a store, even if it's a totally separate web page or something. But make a store, sell people's mods, let the creator reap get some money from it, and then Microsoft gets money from it, and that's going to pay in the long run. That's going to pay big time. And then last of all, the universal accessibility. Accessibility. Make this playable on like almost anything. If a simmer or a gamer has to have a rig that breaks $1,000 a PC rig that breaks $1,000 in order to play this thing, you've done it wrong. Now the PC gaming community, and especially the flight sim community, is probably already set up to be that way, but you're going to build an artificial barrier against new players. And that's where the Xbox, potentially for playing on Xbox, is exciting. I'm question the playability of the game, of the simulation on Xbox, purely because of the limitations of a controller. Obviously, mouse, keyboard, joystick, control quadrants, etc., are going to be way better. But that's a totally different subject in a way. But yeah, make this game accessible. So those are kind of my thoughts. I'm really excited about this. This is perhaps, out of E3 2019, this is perhaps one of the most exciting announcements for me, short of a few of the other AAA titles. This is absolutely top 5 for me from that conference. And so I really look forward to what comes from this, what they do with it. I'm super excited about playing this game, and I'm absolutely going to be that guy who has the Carbon Cub who buzzes around, and low and slow, and looks at the African wildlife and goes back to places I flew in Indonesia and tries to land on the crazy airstrips and stuff. And so that's absolutely something I'm really looking forward to. But yeah, so thanks for if you've stuck with me through this, thanks for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. I'm not particularly interested in whether or not you try to like or subscribe. I'm not doing this for you for the clicks. I'm doing this for fun. But that's kind of what I want to see out of Microsoft Flight Simulator. I want to see it be fantastic and be accessible and be high quality. And I really have high hopes for this game. Thanks for watching.